Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing a big unboxing. Normally I say it's going to be a little unboxing, but this is a huge box. This is for Nova Aetas or Aetas. I apologize if I say that incorrectly. Renaissance. This is going to be set in the French Renaissance, and this kind of a story-driven adventure game with kind of some role-playing elements and also maybe some dungeon crawling type concepts as well. It's really kind of expands a lot of different genres, so I'm really excited to dig into this and see what this is all about. Now we're going to unbox this entire thing, and this is a big box. This is like easily about that big coming from the side here. It's even bigger than my hand. So it's a pretty big box. I'm pretty impressed with all the content that we're able to squish inside this thing. So let's dig into it. Let's see what it's all about. And if you're excited to see this unboxing, then I need you to meet me at the table. We'll go ahead and pull off this lid, and I will say this game is for 1 to 4 players, and I will mention that if you are playing it without 4 players, you do actually have to control all 4 characters per story. The game is built into different stories and chapters and things of that nature, but you are controlling 4 people as you play through this game. The first thing we have up here, this is where we're going to be keeping a lot of our material when it comes to the paper components that have the story and everything that goes along with it. We'll open this up in just a second. Then on top of here, we do have some styrofoam parts. I'm not sure if we have to keep these to keep everything secure in there, so I'm going to put them aside in case I need them, or they could have just been for packaging to get it to you in a safe environment here. We also have these stretch goals rules, I bet these are. Yes, there's going to be all the rules I have to do with probably some of the stretch goals, and what you're going to see in the stretch goals are in this book. Then it has a tutorial read me first section, so we'll probably be reading this and figure out how to play the game. For what I understand, you should be able to play the game after reading this book and reading all the things in the rule book that are highlighted here in red. This should be able to send you straight to the other rule book that is here. And it's built similar to the way that Fantasy Flight has done some of their rule books. They have like a how to play guide, and then the rule book itself is really just an index, a large index that starts at A and goes all the way to Z. And so, for example, if you're in reading the tutorial and you come across a page that has the word scenic elements, then you could go to the rule book, and in theory that is in here. And it is all laid out in the thing here, scenic elements right there. So I'd go to page 44 and I could learn about all the things I have to do with scenic elements. And that way I would have the rules ready for myself if I needed to know about them. And as you can see by the scenic elements, this game has 3D components. That's another thing that I'm super excited about. Let's put both of these aside. These are the tutorial how to play book kind of, and this is the like rules index with all the rules that you'll go deep into an expansion of, or you'll really expand the amount of rules you need to know. Here is the Tales from the Inn. This is a stretch goal component that I'm sure is going to be more story-driven stuff that is part of the game. Let's take a look at our binder. This I'm really pumped for. I think this is a really good idea because you can have the binder open and then all of your story elements are going to fit right into that binder. And they're just going to click on in and be ready for you to use. I think this is a great system. Now, some people might not like this because, of course, the more you use a binder, the more you have a chance of pages potentially ripping or something. But being able to just lay something out. Now, I know this is the prologue. Hopefully, it's not going to spoil too much. But eventually, the first thing you're going to do is play the prologue. You're able to lay out everything you need to in this book, which I think is a really good idea. I think that's great, and you're not paging through things, books shutting on you and things of that nature. I really like the fact that this is all in there. And of course, we can put this in there as well. This is the stretch goal one, so I will be putting that in there as well. We'll put this aside. Now, sadly, the rule books do not fit in there, but that's okay. We do have our maps. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different maps with dual sides. So depending on what you're doing, you're going to have dual sides. This looks like it might be one whole like city street area, which looks pretty cool. And this, of course, looks like one big jungle. So it does look like 4 of these are going to be, I kind of want to put this thing together and see what it looks like. I don't know if I'm going to put it together. Hey, that kind of looks right. That's kind of neat. And this thing can go down here. It makes one big building. That's kind of cool. All right, let's keep looking along and see what we have. More of the jungle. And then, of course, we have one. It looks kind of like a well or something. Then it looks like we're in the Arctic here with these two that flip over to this side, which is more like a marsh. And then I have no idea what this is. But on the back side, it has the inside of a building. So that's kind of cool. Those are all the map pieces, at least these bigger map pieces. There might be some smaller ones as we go forward. But those are the bigger map pieces. Let's let's look at these. These are going to be all of our punch boards, and there are a mountain of them. And there is, of course, there are some more down here. Now, these are interesting. These are not the thick ones. These are thin ones when you lay them on top of some of the other ones so that you still have multiple opportunities to use multiple maps. Moving into some of our punch boards, we do have those, like I said, 3D elements. So this is going to be some of the walls of a building that we might be using at some point. These are considered neutral tokens, these spider-like tokens over here. And there's one down here, this time token. These are neutral tokens, so they're going to be used in different scenarios. We have up here, which is this thing up here is going to create a dial, and they call it a polarium, I think, or something. I believe it's going to be something that has to track how much hate or something an enemy has on you. Of course, I'm not fully 100% positive. I have not played the game yet. We have different overlay tiles. These are negative status effects over here. These are going to be activation tokens that you're going to be placing down onto the hologram, I believe is what they call it. It's like an activation wheel, and I'll show you that in just a second. I apologize if I'm saying some of these wrong. We also have the very same type of punch board, again, with pieces of that same thing, some overlay tiles. These are going to be positive status effect tokens over on this side. But again, we have that other like agrometer or something that we're going to have for each of our characters. More activation tokens, even for some of the ones that are from the stretch goals. So they're all on these exact punch boards. Everything is here. We have the front of a manor, which looks pretty awesome. And we have other elements that we're going to be placing on the board. Again, different neutral tokens. And these are going to be tokens, I believe, for a particular either mission or a particular character that they're going to use during the game. Continuing on, we again have more of the same type of thing, different type of terrain that could be out on the board, more different activation tokens. We even have some fire tokens up here in the corner. Again, same type of one, again, having some of the neutral tokens with our activation tokens. Even these are considered activation tokens. I believe there's going to be overlay tiles for the maps. And again, that 3D components of different buildings that you're going to see. These are going to be heart tokens, or wound tokens, I should say. They're going to be playing a part as we play through the game. Those are the different wound tokens. And I believe these are dual-sided, so you have one wound on one side and you have the 3 wounds on the other side, and these are coming apart, which is kind of cool. And even the 3D terrain is dual-sided. That's pretty awesome. I didn't look at some of the other sides of those. I apologize. Let's continue on. We have more of the same, some buildings on one side and different terrain and wound tokens, I should say, on the other. Here we go. This is the wheel I was talking about. This is the one that is going to be the one that holds onto your activation tokens. And as you activate, you're going to move it down, and then if the hands of time ever come over to you, then it's your turn again. So depending on how much of an activation you do, the farther you move and the longer it's going to take for you to have your own activation again. Different positive status effects are surrounding it. Then we have a lot of other negative effects on here. We have particular character tokens here, and again, some more 3D elements. We have some levers. These, I believe, are going to be rerolls. These are going to be positive status effects, and we have, of course, our negative status effects all through here. And these are dual-sided. And these tokens, though, that have to do with the negative and positive status effects, they are not dual-sided. They are the same type of token. That's okay. Sometimes, again, like I've said in the past, I kind of wish if you're going to do the same thing on both sides, they kind of at least label what it was on one of the sides. So that's something I wish they do. Again, very similar from the last punch board that we had. And our final punch board is going to be pretty much all overlay tiles, it looks like. It's all like one big overlay tile. Or these maybe aren't even overlay tiles. I apologize. These are not going to fully all be overlay tiles. These are going to be connecting tiles. So this might get you from a bigger map. So if you had a big tile like this could maybe be something and have an objective here that then opens up another giant tile over on this side. So these can be connecting to different maps and different tiles. That's what these are, because they have the different numbers up here. Like we have a 5A and a 10A here. So all of these are going to connect to other tiles based on different objectives that you do throughout your adventure. And then we do have those last ones, the water and mud tile. Like I said, this is a flimsy one that maybe is going to go on top of things, or again, it connects different ways. That's about all I know about that. We do have this box here from the Black Rose War. This is another game that this company has done, and these are the components from that they've decided to add to this game, which is kind of cool. And then they have a handbook here for us as well that has contents, factions, basic skills. I think this is going to be, again, more rules and things that you can look at and learn a little bit about the game. It gives you Maybe it's a quick reference to some of the stuff. That's kind of neat. Or this could be something for the expansion. I have to look into it to see exactly how it is. Oh, I like this right here. I see what this is. This is a quick reference. This is a quick reference book that's going to be able to quickly tell you what some of the things are that you may see in the game. And then if you want to delve deeper into it, you can then go to these particular spots in that big rule book. But back here, this is going to be really important. This is your artificial intelligence activation chart. Look at that chart just to activate your enemies. Oh my gosh, I'll have to dig into this and see how it's good, how in depth this gets. It'll be pretty awesome. All right, I'll put that to the side. So here's the box for the Black Rose Magister. I haven't played much of the Black Rose Wars. I think I played it once as like a demo, and it seemed pretty fun. Basically, I think if I remember it, you are different wizards, and you're trying to be the best one. It's a competitive game, if I remember right, and you can unlock different like forbidden spells or something that you're going to be using against your other wizards to try to become the best one, if I remember it. Now, of course, it's been a long time since I've actually even tried it, and I don't remember very well. But here is the rule book for this particular expansion that they're putting into the game. And you can, I believe, one of the is going to be a playable character that has magic cards, personal spell cards. Oh, yep, they've got forgotten spells. So there are some of that stuff, and we even have the evocation cards and things. So there are different spells that this thing can cast. Or this character, it has familiars, so we'll have to see what those are all about. And I bet it has like certain enemy as well. So here is the box that has the miniatures and everything in it. It comes with a thing we'll have to open here, and hopefully it has something easy to get into. All right, and I believe one of, like I said, is going to be a playable character, and the rest of it we'll have to dig into and see what it all is. So I'll try to get this off. There we go. That's good enough. Get this out of here. There. Hoofta. So we have, it looks like, oh my gosh, that guy. Oh my gosh, I know him. He's from another game I played. This is pretty awesome. So they're putting a lot of their games together, or other people from other games have joined the fun. That's fantastic. I believe these are playable characters. I could be wrong. And then here are some of the miniatures that go along with it. Look at this one. This looks pretty awesome. That guy looks pretty amazing. And then here's the playable character, I bet, from this. Here he is right here, and it has a base that can come off. I'm guessing that you can put colored bases on if you want to, or if you're interested in doing that, or you can just throw him on the ground, whatever you want to do. Here he is right here in all of his glory. They are very detailed. These miniatures are actually really well done. I'm very impressed with these. They almost have too much on there that's going to be tough to paint. There's so much detail in these. All right, let's see what else we have. This looks like a lich character of some kind. At the boogeyman maybe that we saw in there. All right, so this is just that one expansion, the Black Rose War one, and then here's the cards that go along with it. And of course we have these are going to be I guess we have dolls, and then we also should have that familiar, which is this owl here. There's a familiar in here. There's some cards for that in here as well. Nope, just these cards right here, and they must have rules about them as well. Now again, we'll dig into a little bit more of this. Oh, here's a familiar token. We'll dig into more of this as we actually dig into the big game. This is just one little part of it, and these are going to be, I think, all the different spells and things that this comes with. Maybe we'll jump back to this at the end if we need to, but for now, that is that expansion. Let's dig deeper into this box and see what we can find. It looks here like we have one more final punch board. This is going to be the clock that's going to go onto that turn dial that we saw earlier as we were doing our unboxing. We have, for example, I'm just going to punch this thing out and show you. We have our turn dial here, and then this thing will go onto this, and as it turns its hands, it'll activate certain enemies. Now, some hands might go this way, and other hands go that way. I have not played the game, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but it does also have another overlay tile here of some well, which is kind of neat. So that's kind of how this works. That's a really cool system of who activates and when. It's based not only like every person gets a turn and everybody does things. No, like I said, if you did something that's not, like say only moved like 2 spaces, you're only going to go 2 spaces down here. But somebody did like move 4 spaces and do a giant jumping leap attack that like off 4 buildings and looks like Superman or something, then that person's going to have to take a longer time to get back to their actual attack, which is kind of cool. Or next action, I should say. So that's kind of cool. And of course they are dual-sided, but there's nothing but the actual name of the game on the back of this one, because you're not going to be using any other parts except for that part. So now we're getting down to some more cool things here. We have a map that I believe is going to unlock things as you go. You'd have, I'm guessing you're going to follow this. You can see how your journey goes through the game here. I'll kind of just fold it up a little bit. I don't know where exactly we start. I believe we're probably, I don't know why we wouldn't start in Rome, but maybe we don't. Maybe we start somewhere completely else. We start in a village, I don't know, or a town. There's the villages, these are towns. On the back side, we have what's going to be known known for our rest period. So after you go through certain parts of the adventure, it might say, hey, now it's time to go to a rest, where you can go to a town and just rest and potentially level up, buy new items or level up your skills, maybe gain new skills. You could probably obviously heal yourself here or things of that nature. There's lots of different things. Maybe you can recruit more characters if you wanted to, or we could take on a mentor, or we could be a mentor. We should see how this all plays out. There's a lot, I think, going on in this game. I think they've really got a good job of like at least showing a lot of new and different things you can do in the game. There's, of course, all of our miniatures. So many miniatures. Okay, sometimes I love the fact you get lots of miniatures. Other times with this many miniatures, it makes it really tough to paint to get ready for a game. But that's okay. We're going to do our best. We have the top part's going to be all of these, and the bottom part's going to be these. I'm going to put this aside, and let's take a look at some of these miniatures and see how cool they look. We'll lift up our box just like that and put it to the side so we can get to these miniatures. Okay, it looks like we have some guy holding a gun out and a sword here. This looks like some gunman and a sword. Now, I want to say these are pretty big miniatures. These are, I think, bigger miniatures than normal. Bigger miniatures than normal, I think, from what it looks like. I don't think these are normal 28 millimeter miniatures. I think these are a little bit bigger. And they all have these bases that pop out, I think, which looks pretty cool. And I'm just picking up a few miniatures to show you, and they have a lot of detail on them, as you can see by this one right here. Just so much detail. And that's going to really come out when you get to painting these, which will be really cool. I'm really actually excited to paint this. I think it'll be really neat. This guy go this way, I'm going to go sideways. There you go. All right, now there's no real heroes on this one. These are all different enemies that you could find in the game and have to take on. Like we have this one that's got a, I don't even know what that is, like a sword, almost look like a bat'leth thing or something, and then a gun mounted on it, which looks kind of cool. Then, so obviously this is set in the Renaissance era, so they do have firearms at that time. Let's put this one aside because the one underneath it is, I think, the one we're really excited about. That's where all of our heroes are with all of our big enemies and everything. And we even have spots to put things, so we could probably put some of our punch outs into these areas here. Now, let's see what we got. I'm not going to be able to probably pick out the main heroes of this game. I'll do my very best to see if I can find the ones that this game is going to want you to play with at the beginning. My guess is going to be the 4 up here. I could be completely wrong. So here's our first one. It's going to be this guy. I think he's probably going to be one of the main characters we're going to be using at the beginning. And as the game evolves, maybe the other characters unlock, or you could potentially just start with them. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But here looks like believe this is going to be the magic user type character that you're going to be able to control. We have a thief character here that we can control. And then we're going to have, looks like, I don't know, some kind of alchemist or something. It looks like he's holding a potion in his hand. Let's see what he's got right here. This guy. He's got like a little potion, or maybe it's like a priest of some kind that's going to help you out, or a cleric of some kind. All right, and then this guy, we might recognize this guy. This guy is from Assassin's Creed. So they did throw some Assassin's Creed in here through some of the stretch goals, which is kind of neat. And I think it's Altar. We'll have to maybe try him out. That guy looks kind of neat. Oh, here, this person has a bow. You can't go wrong with anything with a bow in games like this. That person looks absolutely awesome. They all look awesome. Look at this guy. This guy's mounted on this giant horse. This guy looks awesome. Man, I could use this for so many other games. That's one of the greatest things about games like this, that these miniatures not only can be used in the game you're playing, but also you could use them in other games as well. Now, I believe we had familiars in that other thing. I wonder if these are going to be familiars or if these are going to be used for other things. But I do think, I wouldn't doubt if they connect to your character here, and you got a dog companion. I'll bet you get some companions in this game. And we got dogs. Dogs are going to be our companions. It looks like is this a pig? No way. Do I get a pig companion? That'd be something else. I got to try to dig it out of here if I can. Zoop, and see what this is. Or it's just another dog. Nope, it's a pig. I can have a pig companion. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's see what else we have. We have some centaurs, it looks like here, that are going to be able to be painted up and look awesome in the game. I don't think I actually have centaur miniatures, so this is kind of neat that I have some centaurs. That's pretty awesome. Centaurs are great. We, of course, have a succubus miniature here that has some big giant wings and a huge scythe here. That's no good. And I'm guessing these are probably going to be some of the main villains we're going to be fighting in this game as we go forward. Or maybe they're going to be villagers that are walking around. I don't see how this could be a main villain, but you know, I've seen other things that have caused me confusion. So let's see, we have a clockwork type mint, and then of course they have the thing on the bottom here of their studio. This is the clockwork. Oh, look at that, it's got a whole little thing on the back. That's kind of neat. That's pretty cool. Oh, wow. All right. So we'll put these all away. We're going to put this to the side, and then we're going to dig to the bottom again. There's even more. Yes, this box just keeps on going. We do have all of our paper components here now as well. I think I'm going to pull this out of the box and reset it up so you can see all this stuff that's in here. Here we have all the paper components that we're going to be playing with. And of course, one giant spider woman miniature here. This thing looks awesome. I'm deathly afraid of spiders, so I love that every game seems to think they need a spider in it. We'll start with our heroes. I believe these are the heroes up here. And it looks like we have 2 packs. Now, with the stretch goals, we are able to play with 5 or 6 players, but the game is also up to 4 for the normal game, but you could add a 5th and 6th player based on different elements from the stretch goals. And if, like I said before, if you are playing with less than 4, you do have to play with at least 4 characters. Now, not only do you get your characters, but you're also able to put them inside of these, which are going to be, I'm going to punch this out because it's going to be really neat. This is how you keep your character together. You're going to put them into this thing that's going to then hold all of the different parts that are going to make up your character. Let's punch this all out here real quick. Punch, 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 and it all punches out perfectly fine. So you're going to put your character in there. Let's get one of our characters so I can show you how this works. Let's take Sophia here, for example, as one of our characters. You just take the character, slip it into here, and now it has all the information you're going to need and the place where you can put all your different tokens to represent what this character has. So say the character has 3 scum skills, she'll put it right there. So if she has flanks, you can put it there. Things of that nature. These are going to be the stats that you have, and as you level up, you're going to be able to increase these stats from how I understand it. And then I guess this person has scum. We'll see what that's all about. Now, there is a different board for Sophia, I'm guessing that's going to be depending on how you go with this character. This could be potentially like the tutorial version of the character, and this could be the actual character that you're going to play with. Or maybe if you decide to go down different paths, you're going to have different characters. Now, of course, they are not dual-sided for what is going to be on them. Well, they are dual-sided for this one. Oh my gosh, there's so many different paths you could take with this character. That's kind of neat. So it's good. One could have aim, shot, flank, shadow, take aim. And this one on the other side has aimed, shot, flank, shadow. So maybe it depends on what you decide to build your character as. We'll have to see how that all goes through. Maybe when you go to your resting area, you can power your character up in different ways. That's kind of cool. I believe this is for the prologue, and then these are going to be what you actually play with. And every character is like that. So we have Valerio that has 2 different sides here for him. We have Vincenzo. That's fantastic. He's got 2 different sides as well. And you see these do have different stats that you're going to be able to use. Now, the interesting thing, if you haven't noticed already, this is a D8 system, which is kind of cool. I've never played a D8 system game before. We have Rebecca here. This is the Chronomancer, and again, 2 different sides. And then every character comes with not only the cards you saw that show all their abilities, but it also shows you what the abilities do. It has them all right here. So say we took aimed shot, lockpicking. I would use an action to upgrade. This attack gains lightning bolt, which I'm guessing means lethal, which is pretty awesome. And then, of course, it does have the 2 different sides, depending on which way you went with your character, I believe, that you're able to get the skills for this character on this side, and they have skills on the back side as well. So it has all 3 different skill trees on the cards. So everybody has those. And, of course, like I said, these are just the base characters. We do have all the stretch goal characters as well. So we do have Altar the Assassin, and we have the 2 different types of assassins you could be, I think, when you play the game. Then we have Fatama, which is the person with the bow that we saw, which looks really cool. Then we have Gregoro, and we have Agornix. This is the player character we saw from the expansion stuff, or I should say the Black Rose stuff. And then we have all of the different, of course, skills that go along with these characters. And some of them are dual-sided, and one is going to have the base skills that you're going to have. Like I said, I think it might be from the prologue. I could be wrong. We'll see how it all plays out. And there are a ton of these. There should be 6, I'm guessing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I've punched one out over on the side, so that is 6. So there's 6 different player boards. There are a ton of cards here. We're going to have to go through all of these cards and see what I can show you. Now, again, this is a campaign type game, so I'm not going to spoil too much of the campaign. There are some envelopes here that I'm sure I'm not going to be able to open, because those are going to be part of the campaign and stuff that has to do with it. These are going to be different items that you're going to be able to find through the game, and different parts of the different mission objectives and things of that nature. And then, like I said, it is a D8 system. So based on what you're rolling, and here's the different cubes you're going to stick into those slots to show where and what skills you have and also how many ability points you have in certain things. And then this is, oh, these are used for the dials that we have, those dials you saw, and of course that big giant activation wheel that we have as well. And so I think the way this works is you're going to roll for different skills, and based on the amount of dice you have in a certain skill, you're going to be able to roll that many, and you're going to have to reach a certain number in order for something to happen based on the enemy's, let's say, defense. You might have to roll higher than that on certain dice, or if they're attacking you, then you roll. The enemies never roll. You're always rolling against your own defense or against their defense and things of that nature. It's not let's roll to see how the enemy attacks you. You're technically, the way it's built is that you're rolling to see if you're able to fend off the attacker, from how I understand it. The first group of cards we have is a lot of the enemies from the core game, and some event cards, and cards that change your characters into things, or something that has been changed into things that you have to deal with. We'll have to see how this all transpires. Now, the game, this is the one that's in the book, so I don't mind showing you this. What you're seeing here is the name of the character. These are the stats or the characteristics of the particular enemy. It also shows the type of faction it's part of, which is kind of cool because there are 3 different main factions. I think that's part of how the game works, is you're going to be interacting with these different factions, and so I think that's part of the main part of the game. We'll see, of course, how that all plays out. This is the attack characteristics that this character is going to do, and then it's the particular ability it has. These are what you're going to draw for your rewards, I believe, if you kill this thing, and this is the rank. So it could be a core troop, it could be elite, or things of that nature. So there's all different types of here. There's 2, there's 1s, there's probably 3s in here somewhere, maybe not. So these are the different enemies that you're going to fight, and then of course there are these different event cards that you have that you might have to deal with as you're going from town to town at some point. Now, one way you can get the enemies on the board is through these draft cards. So there could be certain missions that say, like, now draft 2 enemies. And so then you'd flip over these cards, and maybe it'll tell you to make a deck based on certain characters. And you'll flip them over and be like, okay, so I'm fighting a gypsy and a gunslinger. So I got to get those 2 miniatures out on the board and the stats and the cards for those characters and be ready to fight them. So there's all the different core enemies here that you're going to be fighting. And this is just a deck that'll randomly choose certain ones that you're going to fight. Now, of course, the missions you're going through may have already predetermined stuff you're going to deal with, and then on top of that, maybe some random stuff as well. So that's kind of cool. It has some replayability just from the fact that you could have random enemies out there. Next, we have reward cards. And remember when I showed the bottom picture, it showed a few things that you could get as rewards. Well, here's all the different types of things you could get. For example, if I had to draw a red card or one of the red jewel cards, I would have gained metal that then, of course, I could use to craft with. If I gave an alchemical, I could maybe get what's a sulfur. Or if I'm up in this area of this, I would get some plant of some kind. Here we go, leather. We might get leather or something. And then these are going to be just flat out awesome treasures that you could get as well. Here's one right here. You could get a new wolf dagger, which is going to give you different attack characteristics and different abilities that go along with it. So these are the what do you call them? Rewards from the core game. Now everything I'm showing you is from the core game. There is that expansion stuff as well, and they're all found in here. There's a whole ton more stuff, all based for the expansion. Different enemies again, and some maybe you can even see are going to be part of your own. And some of the stuff that goes particularly along with the expansion, I'd have to dig into to know exactly what everything holds here for the expansion. It has more of those cards. It has different enemy cards as well, and it even has these white angelic cards that are part of the game, but there's nothing on them, so I'm not exactly sure what they're for. Next, we have achievement cards. These are different cards that you're going to find throughout your adventure as you're playing. Now, from what I understand, these do not carry over from adventure to adventure. Once you're done with a certain adventure and you go to, like, let's say that rest area or something, you turn these back in. I think these are particular for the adventure you're playing. It's going to do things for that particular adventure. For example, this one says Bull Key. Down here it says, it seems too valuable to just be to open a tower. So I'm guessing in some certain mission, you're going to have to find achievement 1 in order to get the key to open the tower, where this one could be achievement 15 is a Scourge of Rome. So it's going to have to find that, and you have to do that in the particular mission. You're going to have that in order to proceed, or maybe it's something that affects the way somebody's going to interact with you as you go forward in the game. The next thing we have is a huge stack of craftable gear. That's right, all those, remember when I showed the rewards that you could get from all those things? Here's what you can do with it. For example, say we want to make bone armor. We would need to gain these things in order to learn the formula for bone armor. Once you have that, I believe you'll be able to flip it over and be able to use this. You get a necromancy spell of bone armor. That sounds absolutely awesome. And there's so many different things you can craft. Not only spells, but you can craft things like gear. We could get these things and craft this hawk headpiece here. And then forever we're going to have this hawk headpiece that we can use for our characters. I mean, going forward, we've got different things we can craft. There's potions you can craft. There's going to be probably different headpieces and armors and weapons even. I can do different daggers and things. Now, of course, on top of the generic stuff we can craft for any of our characters, everybody has their own stuff as well. So, for example, she's going to be able to get this Tiara of Time, but in order to do that, she has to go through her Destiny cards, and I'll show you those in just a second. But this one we could craft on our own. If we had enough of this, we'd be able to craft this crystal sphere, which then we'd be able to gain the advantage of this crystal sphere. Now, of course, there's a lot of iconographies and things. I don't know what those are yet, but everybody does have their own set like this. And on top of that, everybody has their own starting gear. She has a dagger that she'll be able to carry into battle. She has an energy shard that she gets to carry into battle, and she also has arcane arrow that she will carry into there. So she also has ranged attack, I believe. Yeah, I think it has 1 to 6 range on it, and it looks like it inflicts damage, 1 for each moon I have, or maybe there's one of those companions I have. We'll see what it's all about. And then everybody does have these. All of our starting characters have their own set of advanced gear, starting gear, and then let's see if we can find some stuff down here. There's got to be the achievement stuff. Here we go. This is the Destiny cards. So there's 6 different Destiny cards. Now I'm guessing this might be like quests or abilities that our characters have gained because they've gone certain directions that are part of their character, and they've explored their character's maybe backstory and gotten these cards that are going to be able to unlock some of those other things you saw in the deck. So there we go. All of that is craftable gear, which is amazing. There's so many different things you can make. I think that's really cool. Next, we have a deck of Prey action cards that you're able to use. So I believe you're going to flip these over and just do what it says on the back. So this would be like number 16. It's going to bite you. You flip over another one. It's going to be, you get number 9 here, and this one's going to charge you. So I think these are different things that animals in the wild would do to you, I'm guessing. Or this could be just, they just call it generically a bear, and it's used for all the different enemies you fight. I'm not exactly sure. I'm guessing the humans, though, are not going to be using these. They have their own AI chart that you're going to follow. Now, picking right up from there, the expansion, of course, has that Chimera, or Chimera, that also has an Arachnia, so it has some of its own hunt cards that it's going to use. Then it has some extra cards here and some rewards that we're going to be dealing with. So that's just part of the expansion material. It's kind of neat that it's all put in as one big group of cards. Lastly, we have injuries. You don't want these, I'm sure, but for example, you might get this one that says, oh no, you've got a broken finger. And so the tests count you 1 additional time. Whenever we have to do one of these type of tests, it's going to cost us 1 additional time because we broke our finger. This one here, we have a broken rib. Consider your value of your health 1 point lower. Oh no, that's terrible. So we'll have to get those fixed when maybe in some of the rest stops or something. So they do have a deck of injury cards. Now, on top of all the stuff we have from the mission books itself, we also have a lot of cards that have to do with missions themselves. So I'm not going to open any of these to show you anything, but I do want to show you exactly kind of how the missions work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one mission in particular. It's going to be the bear hunt, because I think it's going to be an optional thing you can do. I could be completely wrong, but here's how these cards would work. So the first thing you do is like you're going to go on the bear hunt. So you'd read this card and it would tell you everything you're going to need in order to do this particular mission. And then on top of that, it's going to, as you completely go down, you're just going to be heroes. You're going to need the bear token. You're going to need these tiles. You're going to need all these different things. Then we're going to go to card 2. So you're going to read the back of card 2. You're going to read all of this. Then it says to reveal this card. When you reveal the card, it's going to show you kind of the map you're going to use and where your characters and the enemies are going to be positioned. Then on top of that, it's going to tell you where to put the horologram. So it's going to start at 1 o'clock, and all the heroes are going to be at Capricorn, and the bear will be at Aquarius. After that, we're going to read the back of card 2, which is right here, and it'll have a little flavor text and tell you some rules of what you're supposed to do. And one of them is to reveal card 3, which is right here. And card 3 is the bear. So there's that bear we're going to have to fight. So we got the bear out on the table. It's ready to fight. And then on the back, it's going to continue reading some of this. And then it says to reveal this card. You're going to reveal that card. Here it's going to have some of the win conditions and things of that nature, and also some special rules that go along with the mission. And then, of course, you'll start the mission. And if you're successful, you go to this one. And if you're not successful, you go to that one, and so on and so forth. Depending on how the thing turns out, you're going to have to deal with a certain card. And I'm sure one of them says like you run from the bear, and the other one says like congratulations, you beat the bear. But that's kind of how these cards work. Now imagine though this small amount of cards in kind of a bigger network. So we have like a way bigger one here. For example, this is one right here, and so on and so forth. So there's all these different missions that you're going to do. There's another big long mission that's in here, and I don't know what any of these cards are, and I don't know what missions we're going to have to go in order to get to these certain spots, but there are so many of these. And that, of course, is on top of all the words and things that go along with that complete binder that is also part of all the adventures that you're going to go on. And from what I understand, all the missions in this game are fail forward, but the better you do, the better the next mission is going to be for you. So it is, of course, advantageous to win the adventure because it's always a better thing. So there you go. I believe that is absolutely everything that I can unbox from this Nova Aetas Renaissance. I believe I'm probably saying that wrong and I apologize. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when this game comes out. And of course, I will be bringing this to the channel. You'll be seeing multiple plays of it. We'll at least get through the prologue, maybe even skip the prologue and go straight into the main campaign. We'll see what this game has in store so I can show you everything about it. There's a lot going on in here and I'm really excited to dig into it. I think they have built a fantastic game and I can't wait to try it out. If you are interested in the game, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from everyone. Do you have the game? Have you ever heard of this game? Are you interested in seeing the game? Like I said, I'm pumped to give this a shot. Of course, if you're interested in supporting the channel, the link to the Patreon is also located in the description of this video. Please feel free to join if you're interested. Those that have are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It does mean the world to me. Those that have joined the Patreon get some perks. A few of the perks are, one is they do get to watch any of my playthrough videos beforehand without any commercial interruptions. On top of that, they will help decide what characters we play for. Now, of course, we have to play with these exact 4 characters. We wouldn't be able to have any help. But as the game goes forward, if we get items and things we can craft with, I'll probably ask them what they think our characters should do going forward. And that way they can have a chance in deciding how the game develops going forward. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited to see Nova Aetas Renaissance, apologize if I butchered it every single time, then, or anything else that Colin and I have common, then I need you to meet me at the table.